Hello, and welcome to another episode of Speaking into the Abyss. I am your host, Des, and that is your other host,
Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Hello.
You know, to give a little insight to the listeners, this whole podcast would not happen without Jess. Let me just say that.
What do you mean? You're also here.
This podcast could not be possible without you. Not only do you edit the podcast and upload the podcast and figured out everything and how to do it,
Yeah.
but also when it comes to recording, dude, I'm horrible. Like, I'm always exhausted, and then I don't know. I thought yesterday would be a great time to record because I had gotten off of work early, and I was like, cool, I'll have so much energy. And then I napped and everything. I was like, I'll be good to go. And then I woke up and I was like, I'm so tired. I can't do it. And then you were like, well, luckily for you, I love being tired.
You're like, don't even worry about it, girl.
So you're getting up earlier than you have to, even though you were already going to get up early for something else you had to do before work.
Yes.
So props to you and thank you, because without you, there probably wouldn't be an episode this week. I
give up. It's not recording.
I can't do it. I'm like, you know what? Sabbatical or whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to let the listeners know that we appreciate everything you do, Jess. You're the only reason why we're able to listen to an episode every week. So thank you.
You're welcome, guys. I know some listeners are upset that they catch up too fast. They're like, put out more episodes.
Yeah, and we're like, already one's hard. Already one's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here we are, though, recording. So how have you been, Jess?
I've been really well. How have you been?
Been all right, you know.
How's your work week?
Fast.
Good.
Kind of fast. It's the middle day, right? That's
the third day.
Yeah, it just takes forever, bro. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh, I can't get through it. But other than that, it was fine. Because, for people just tuning in, new shift for me, new people, right? And I'm not the most outgoing person. I'll talk to people who talk to me, but I'm not going out of my way because it's hard for me. I don't know. I don't know. And so I don't. And this shift, though, luckily, a lot of people who are very nice and kind to do it themselves, and they'll come ask me questions, or they'll come say, hey, what's up to me, or tell me good morning. So it kind of already always sets off every day pretty good, because everyone's just kind of like, hey, what's up? How are you? You know? And I feel like they genuinely care. How are you? It's not one of those small talks. How are you? Because they want to know if anything crazy has happened, and then, they can share their horror stories or whatever. But so that's fine. I started talking to even more people this last week that I hadn't gotten the chance to talk to.
Because this is your third week now, or second week?
Yeah, it's my third week, but the last weeks were one day, and then there's holidays, and there's all this other stuff, so it was kind of not full week, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, these people are super cool. I apparently went to school with one of them, and it's whoa, but we don't remember each other like that.
You get a podcast, and now they went to school with you.
They were I see your stickers around.
They're oh my God, don't you remember me?
We were besties. You should get on your pod. Sure? Everyone's pretty cool. I started a Letterboxd. Have you heard of that?
I have.
I kind of heard of it, but I didn't know what it was. And then they have a year in rap also. And somebody,
it's the movie one, right?
Yeah, it's it's basically, it has every movie you could possibly think of on there. And I'm not sure who's in charge of that, but good job for them. Because literally every movie I've ever thought of in my life is on there. And you can click it, and you can put your own review and rate it yourself. And then basically you follow your friends or follow whoever. And you can see what the movies they've recently watched, what they like, what they don't like, their top genres and stuff. So right now I just started it. I only have 2 lists going. I have one that's top tier, and they're my 5-star rated movies, but not every 5-star rated movie, just 5 stars, and like I really fucking love that movie. Like it's impactful. So that's my top tier list, and then I have top tier animated, like animated movies, because I have so many of those. Ratatouille's on there, you know, Coraline, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to use it because when I saw my friend's year wrapped, and it tells you like, you know, every movie you watch this year or whatever, even at home or whatever, those old movies that aren't going to play in theater or whatever, they're like all on there. And I was like, that's really cool. And it tells you like a scale of like how many movies you rated 1 star to 5 stars like throughout the year. And I was like, oh, that's cool too. Because
nice.
Yeah, so I started that, and I'm excited because I asked one of the girls at work to also start one because me and her like a lot of horror movies and stuff. So we were talking about that, and I was like, you know, I think that'd be an easier way for us to share those movies that like we talk about or whatever. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited because like that's another thing. I'm glad I did it this month because like the start of the year, you know, so I can still have time to like add movies to it or whatever that I'm gonna watch, which I ended up watching. My first like official rating and stuff like that on the app was Wallace and Gromit's Revenge Most Foul, which is the newest movie that came out, and it's so cute. It's so cute, and it's like about Wallace basically is an inventor, and he invents this gnome bot that can do anything that you ask it to do and take care of things. It's mostly cutting bushes and stuff, so people are like, well, that's so cool. But it's also like kind of kicking Gromit out of the picture, like as a cute, lovable character. But if people from the past movies will remember, there's a villain that comes back and gets into the brain of the gnomes, and Gromit tries to stop it before it's too late. Okay. It's good. It's a good movie. It's super cute. I do get tired personally of the tropes of like AI and robots are so scary bad and like they're going to take over the world. Yeah. Because it's like in the 2000s that was a thing, and now it's coming back around where so many like Megan and all those other movies came out. Like I did kind of want. I never watched it. That one with the cameras or whatever in the house.
Oh yeah, I want to watch it too.
I haven't watched it, but that one looks cool. It's like, so for the most part, like most of them kind of get boring, like the same kind of story. Yeah. But this is so cute, and I loved it so much. So I would definitely say. I mean, I only rated it like 4 stars, but I would still say it's a good movie. So maybe people want to check it out. It's on Netflix right now.
Okay, nice. Very cool. Yeah, I think I have one of those accounts. I think I made it like 2 years ago or something. I mean, I never used it. I just made it because one of the podcasts I listen to has one for their podcast. Nice. But yeah, I don't think I ever used it. I think I just made it, and then I think that was it.
Yeah, I can see how like if you're not like thinking about it, like you go watch a movie and then you're like, oh, I should write something about it. You're not gonna not gonna remember, especially after all this time. But I think you should, because I want to follow you and I want to see like we'll see each other's like most watched and rated and stuff like that. Because I also think it's cool to compare how you feel about a movie versus how your friends feel about a movie. Yeah, because like you can watch it in the same time at the same place, like whatever, but totally different impacts, you know. Definitely. So it would be cool to watch that. I mean, like, because my favorite movie's on there, Jess. I looked at my favorite movie because I was like, I'm gonna put that one on my list, and I'm gonna make it 5 stars, and I'm gonna put a review for it and whatever else. And it has a pretty low review, but that's my favorite movie. Like, I was like, what idiots are watching and reviewing this? So, no, but I genuinely was like kind of shocked because I was like, I didn't expect that, but it must have not been as impactful for those people when they watched it. You know what I mean? So very interesting. But that's pretty much all I've really been up to.
That's nice. That's nice.
Just vibes. I almost stole a dog outside of your house when I got here. It's so cute. He kind of reminds me of Chica, my family's dog. Cute. But he's like obviously younger. She's kind of old.
You're like very young.
Very young. But he had a collar on. At first I didn't see the collar because he was just so small and stuff. Yeah, and his hair is like so big. But I almost saw him get hit by a car, so I was like, oh my god. And I couldn't tell if the car saw him or not. Like but he was like under a different car, and then when I got out of the car to come inside, he kind of came out and like looked at me. I was like, oh, you want me to take you home?
I was like, oh my gosh, fine.
But then I saw the collar. I was like, I guess I can't. Sorry, pal.
Very good job, you know, not stealing people's pets.
Yeah, you're welcome, whoever owns him, because he's very cute.
It's a test. There's cameras hiding.
Oh my God, it's what would you do?
Yeah.
I like come inside and then we hear like a knock and they're like, why'd you steal that dog?
I'm John Quinones. Why'd you steal that dog?
That dog belonged to a child.
There's clearly a number on the tag.
It has an address as well.
A name, everything.
That's so funny. I'm like, that's how I knew what to call him. God. No, I don't steal dogs. I've never done that. But I always feel like, you know how people talk about the cat distribution system? Mm-hmm. Cats randomly show up and then they're yours. Yeah. I think that happens with dogs too sometimes, you know? So I thought that was my moment. I thought, oh my God, dog distribution.
Usually they're not callers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, once I realized he wasn't for me, I just kind of was like, all right.
You're like, I guess.
All right. Just don't get hit out there. Yeah. Still waiting for my cat, still waiting for a dog or something to just walk up to me. Because then it's one of those things where you're like, oh, but I had no choice, you know? I had to be a savior to this little animal.
You're like, I came home and it was in the house. What am I supposed to do?
And then I had to go. And then it's like, it came with all this equipment for cats.
Someone left it at our doorstep. What are we going to do? Abandon it?
That's cute. It's like a little, like those fire drops for the kids.
They're like, you look like, the note says, you look like a great family. Please take care of my child.
Aw, little cats and dogs.
It's a cat and a dog. You're like, what? A cat? And then you hear
Oliver and Company or whatever.
And they're in a little box so they can't get out with breathing holes.
Oh, okay. I was going to say they got holes in there. They're just in a box.
Yeah.
I saw, actually, that reminds me, this last Christmas, I feel like I saw some videos of people getting gifts, but one of the videos was like an animal in a box, right? Is a possum. They were pranking somebody, so they open the box and the possum crawls out and they're like, and they're like, obviously, there's a possum in the house. But there was no holes that I could see in the box. I'm like, how long was he in the box? Did they just go scoop him right now?
Yeah, usually, I feel like for the most part, they usually like put him in the box right before they hand it to them.
I got a special one. They got to the garbage and like scoop a possum up. I love possums though.
Yeah, they're super cute.
So cute. And like just helpful little guys. Maybe I can send you the video of the raccoons I saw.
You did send it to me.
Oh, then maybe you can post it. And then people can see the little raccoons that were in the trees near my house. I don't know why I didn't think raccoons... I mean, like, I know they can climb and shit, but I didn't expect it to be in a tree. It seemed like they were just hanging out in the tree.
Oh, the video you sent me wasn't the one in the tree, or...
Well, they had came from the down from the tree.
Yeah.
I didn't know if
you had
no.
them in the tree like party.
I was not fast enough. I was like walking by when I had realized, because I guess me walking by the tree probably caused one of them the youngest one to scurry out because he was like, oh shit, they're gonna get us in the tree. I don't know, but that's what made me look, and then I was like, oh shit, it's fucking a tiny little raccoon. And then his mom came, and I was like, that is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, this has restored everything I needed to keep going. I don't know how to explain it, but I was like, a mom and her baby raccoon living their life in a nearby tree and then in a nearby hole.
Yeah.
Amazing. Beautiful.
And I get so sad when they just go down into the sewers. I'm like, no.
Bye.
Why do you fit in there? I was going to pet you. I just want to pet you.
I know. Well, I actually don't know what storm drains look like inside. But I've seen so many raccoons go in there.
Have you seen the Ninja Turtles? They're huge. No, I'm just kidding.
All the tunnels. They got like a little house. Yeah. Aw, that'd be cute. But yeah, that was really cool and magical. I love seeing wild animals do their thing.
Yes. We
also forgot when we were talking about Jack Black to mention Nacho Libre. And that was one of the ones where I was like, no, there's so many movies he's been in. There's so many, like, there's got to be one. And for some reason, the only ones I could think of were the ones we mentioned.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And like, as soon as I left, I was like, Nacho! I was like, oh my God, how did I forget? Yeah. Like, hilarious. That would be so fucking funny. I love the scene with the corn. Get that corn out of my face. It's so good. Yeah, he's in it a lot. That like even when he was younger, like a little kid. Did you ever watch Mars Attacks?
Mm-hmm. Don't remember him at all.
He's so in the movie, there's like, you know, when they start realizing like, oh, we might have to fight them or whatever, mm-hmm. like if they're bad aliens or whatever. He's like the brother who joins the army. I don't know who he's related to, but he like joins the army and he's like, I'm gonna kill these aliens. Like he's like so dude bro, like idiot kind of coded or whatever. I think he dies. I could be wrong though, but I think he dies in the movie pretty fast. But yeah, he's very young on that movie. He's like Shallow Hal age. Or maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like the haircut's the same. You know, no beard and then that little like kind of curl up hair that he had. Yeah. But I just like going through his little Wikipedia, which was a separate Wikipedia for his movies and stuff like that, because there's so many. Yeah. Really honed in for me that Jack Black really has been in so many movies since like even before I was born. And it's like, that's nuts to me. It's like how, I don't know. It's crazy, dude. Like time is a crazy thing to think about. Yeah. In that aspect, you know? It is. I mean, his mom, though, has always been famous. Did you know who his mom was?
No, I don't.
She's like an astrophysicist.
Oh, nice.
And she was like the reason why we were able to, I think, bring people back from space, not just like send them up. She like, oh yeah, I think she created the like fueling or the release or whatever of the spaceships that for when they're coming back, they can come back safely and not just like die in the, you know, coming into the Earth's atmosphere. She's the reason why we have people back from space, which is like really interesting.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And I don't know what his dad did, but you know, that's pretty sick for his mom to be doing. And then, you know, he's just always been famous because he's a good little actor, musician boy. So
nice. Good for him.
Good for him. And nepotism. Is it nepotism or is it just because nepotism is? Do you have to be in the same field or is it just you had doors open for you? Because that is just like, do you know what I'm saying? Like it would be nepotism, right? If he became an astronaut or a physicist because his mom was a physicist and she was like, yeah, let my son do it. But because she had like all the money and like all the knowledge and wealth or whatever in order to open those doors for him, it's not necessarily nepotism, is it? It's called something else.
No.
It's called, what is it called? So I guess that's not nepotism because, like we said, nepotism is when it's in the same field. There's also, I guess, cryonism or I assume cryonism, which means showing favoritism towards friends or close associates in the same field. But I guess what I was looking for was just privileged.
Okay.
You know, he just is privileged, or in our plutocracy, right? A society where power is held by wealthy people. So not only was she a genius and very wealthy because of what she did, but obviously they gave him the privilege to do the things he wants to do without fear of, oh, I have to do this so I can support my family or this or that, which is, you know, whatever. So in that way, he is privileged. I just, to reiterate, love Jack Black so much when I was a kid. And I just, I guess so I went home and I talked to my partner also about the Minecraft movie trailer, right? Because I saw the one. Apparently there's another one that's an extended version, which I did not see. Yeah. And in that one, he goes on to talk about, I guess, and it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, by the way, the other person in the movie, which I'm tired of seeing him. I'm not going to lie. I did not grow up with him. I do not care about him. I do not think he's even that great of an actor. I'm sorry. But Jack Black's character, Minecraft Steve or whatever, goes on to talk about how like he yearned for the mines and then he found this like blue glowing thing and then and that's how he ends up there. So it's like a Jumanji thing, which we've already seen also. So whatever. I guess this is Jumanji for the newest generation, if you will, you know? So maybe in that realm, it'll be an all right movie, I guess. I'm still not going to go see it in theaters, but I just wanted to kind of take back my extreme dislike for the trailer now, knowing that there's an extended version of the trailer.
That's what I was like, okay.
I mean, I genuinely still think like, I mean, because I'm not a child, and even though I love Minecraft, I love Jack Black separately, the two things separately. I still I'm not like lit for this movie. I'm not like, woo, because it's also, but again, also probably not geared towards me or people like me. It's probably geared towards young children who have played the Minecraft game, like the universal game or whatever, and played it on Roblox and all that other stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess my main point of like what I was upset about in the trailer, or just in general with that movie and movies coming out similarly, is that it's the same people over and over again. And that's what I'm tired of. I am so tired of just seeing the same people over and over again. I think that there's like an array of actors that we could see or have not seen yet, and we're not going to see them because people just want these big names, like I was saying, like just to say, oh, Jack Black and The Rock are in my Minecraft movie. You know, that's like probably what a lot of the budget was. If it was, you know, other than the CGI, because obviously they're in the fucking Minecraft world. So other than that, it's like the biggest costs were probably just their names, like being able to have them in their movie.
Yeah.
I would just like to see that budget maybe go to something more, you know?
Well, just make a movie.
I can't. I'm not, what's the word we just used?
Privileged?
Yeah. I'm not privileged like that.
You can make an indie film.
I'm not privileged enough to make an indie film. People get grants for that stuff.
I'm like, a lot of people make them on their phone.
I guess.
So some of the best ones are on the camcorder in the science lab.
Like what?
You never seen? I don't even remember what it's called. There is one, and it's like, it was when I was like in high school, and it was a super short film. I think it was like 15 minutes. And it looks pretty good. And it's in a camcorder in a science lab. And it's like a Frankenstein-esque little
I've never seen
short
that.
film.
I don't
pretty
think.
good. Pretty good.
Okay. No, I've never seen that. I mean, the most theatrical thing I've ever done is literally like, no, I've never acted. But I've
you ever did like a play
helped.
at school or anything?
Yeah, I was in theater. I did multiple plays.
Okay, so then you did act.
But I didn't act in the plays. I was part of everything else.
You were never in the play?
I mean, unless you count walking on the stage
You're
to
just
move
like
sets.
stagehand?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was fucking building things, setting things up, moving the chocolate water in the Willy Wonka and the because it's not for me. I didn't feel like I wanted to perform.
Your dramatic ass, I think you've been great.
I think I would have been too dramatic. I would have taken the stage from everybody. Everybody would have been outstaged by me.
Imagine you would have been a huge movie star right now, and I'd be like, wow, that girl's so cool.
Could have been like Timothée Chalamet.
I would have been like, I think that we would have been friends in a different life.
Playing Bob Dylan. Well,
and then you like just some famous actress. You're like, oh,
right. No, that could never be me.
I could have.
I don't think it could have ever, and I don't think it ever will be. But
you got your huge movie deal in high school.
Sure. They saw me in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory play, and they were like, hey, "Yes, Reno, we found her."
One of your nepotism friends in theater.
No, that doesn't even make sense.
Their
so
uncle
funny.
That's in the scene was in town.
I will say this, and not in a negative way at all. But the people who were always the main actors in those plays, because it was for the last years that I did it, the same people. Mm-hmm. One of them does burlesque shows now locally, which is like, it's not big time. I'll say that. And then the other one isn't doing anything. So I would just say I don't think my small school plays would have ever been seen by anybody worthwhile, bro.
Never say never. Never say never.
That's hilarious. But I did have a lot of fun. We did like we did Willy Wonka and we did Frankenstein.
Nice. And
I feel like we did another one. I just can't remember. I might have quit in the middle of it all because I was going to graduate anyway. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things because, okay, so the French teacher was in charge of theater at that school. The French teacher who chose those main actors, who were also in his French classes, slept with that girl. Okay. Slept with one of the girls and then quit because he was going to get fired for sleeping with a student.
Okay, classic.
Classic, especially at that school. And so we didn't have theater. I think that's what it was. My senior year, there was no theater club because there was nobody to run theater because he wasn't there. Yeah. And then my French class that I had, because take so many years of another language or whatever.
Yeah.
It was automatic pass because there was no teacher.
Okay, nice.
So at the end of the day, it worked out for me to not be the main person in that play. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? And the other guy got his heart broken because he was in love with her. Isn't that so sad?
That's hilarious.
What a crazy drama twist in the theater. Like, that is so theater-esque, I feel like. Yeah. It's so funny. And I feel like if you talk to people who do, like, adult theater and stuff like that, because I think we used to have locally we used to have a theater. I think it's closed down now, but a lot of adults would do it or whatever, or older, 18 or plus, whatever. Sometimes 16-year-olds would go and do it outside of school or whatever. And I would hear the most dramatic shit out of that fucking, and I'm like, these are adults? Yeah. Like, that's crazy. I don't know. I liked doing theater, though. I liked building things for theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's fun to see it, like, come to life. Like, or trying to, like, everybody's like trying to figure out how do we put this thing, like how do we make it a thing? Like for Willy Wonka, one of the issues was how do we do the Augustus Gloop drowning in the chocolate if we don't have a chocolate river? Like how do you get that to go, right?
Yeah.
These big brained ass people, we all just fucking put these different kind of silky-ish different chocolate colors, like on these two poles, and then had people on either end holding each side, moving them back and forth or whatever. Yes. And so when he falls into it or whatever, he falls on this thing and we drag him out of there. So he gets like sucked into the chocolate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, that was fun to do, stuff like that was fun to do. And then it was like, I think another reason why I couldn't be an actor at the time, at least, too. I mean, it's just us talking. So it's a little bit easier to perform, if you will, or whatever it is. But even like one of the things I had to do at some point, I don't know which one it was, but there's this setup, right? And in between the scenes, there's certain things that move. So you have to go out on stage and take it off the stage and put something back on the stage. And it's like this whole form. I don't know how to explain, but it's not that complicated. It just feels complicated because you're doing it. And I remember my parents came to see the play knowing I wasn't in it, but knowing that like I did things in it. And there's a scene where I have to go out there and pick up this chair and walk all the way across the stage. No, and I fucking could feel like my face get so hot the second I stood on the stage. I was so embarrassed and I was trying not to like look at anybody. I was so fucking scared. It's just like, I don't know. I think I just have that stage fright. I can't perform. But like it's crazy because when I was super young, I had none of that. Isn't that crazy? You just kind of like develop these fears.
Yeah,
definitely. So weird. It's so weird. So I commend everyone who's brave.
Well, when you're up there performing, it's just so bright you can't even see into the crowd with the stage lights in your face. Most of the time,
in
you
that
don't
small
even
theater,
see what's going out.
Sheesh.
And I'm gonna say your parents started clapping for you and you just started bowing.
They're fucking whistling and clapping. No.
That's my girl.
And I'm with the chair. Just holding it up.
The whole crowd's like,
That's so funny. It's the middle of a scene. That's hilarious. And before we move on, it was a very special birthday.
Whose?
You know whose. It was your birthday. It was your birthday, and you had some funsies. Do you want to tell us about your birthday funsies or no?
Sure.
Okay.
Just like everything I did, some of the stuff.
It's up to you. What do you want? If you don't want to tell us it all, you don't have to tell us.
Well, it was my birthday.
It was.
So I did a few things because it's, as you heard on last episode, it's also my sister's birthday last weekend. Mm-hmm. So in between both of our birthdays, there was a lot of stuff being done. Me and my mom took me and my sister out for like a birthday lunch for my sister. And then my brother took me and her out to the buffet. for both of our birthday dinners. And then we had a family birthday dinner on my birthday. So that was all my siblings. And then Jenny, for my gift, she got us an Airbnb in San Francisco and bought me tickets to go see Oak, one of my favorite DJs from Canada.
Nice.
So,
which I saw on your story. It looked awesome.
Yeah. So went to San Fran. What a freaking mission to get to the show. Because we were like, we'll just walk. It's just a 15-minute walk.
Oh, sure.
And I've been to San Fran a few times. I once was like my 5th grade field trip that we're there for like a week. We did go camping, do the bridge, blah, 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 blah. So much fun. And then obviously that's like not in the city. And then the few other times I've been there have only been 4 shows usually.
Sure.
And like the craziest thing that's ever happened is like I didn't want to park in a corner because it was like red, but I should have just left it there because I usually park there. And I moved it, and then I moved it up the street, and the window got broken
smashed into.
Yeah, that one time. And then that was the only time. And then I don't know. I've never really had nothing crazy, you know. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, we'll walk. We start walking. We're halfway there. And I remember that I forgot my earplugs. And I was like, dude, we got to go back. And our Airbnb's uphill. So we're going back. We make it up. We get our stuff. And I'm like, should we take like an Uber? Because it's kind of late. I was like, I don't really care though if we get there, you know, because I'm just trying to see Oak anyways. And I was like, oh, we'll just walk to save money. It was only $9, but I was like, oh, whatever, you know.
Sure.
Let's be frugal.
Sure.
And so we start walking. And
when
like,
in San Fran.
Yeah, I was like, and on the way down, it was great. There's like this guy, he's like, oh my God, you girls look so beautiful. You guys look great. Oh, thanks. And we walked down like 2 more blocks, and this other little couple was like, oh my gosh, you girls look so good. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, everyone's so nice here. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, couldn't be Reno.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because then like, I was also thinking about how nice we were, and people get like weirded out because we're so nice. And I'm like,
really?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, and then a lot of people do say like people in San Francisco are mean. And I was like, oh. I was like, I go for weird. I go for weird.
Yeah.
They're super weird. Just energy wise, like and I guess because they are kind of like mean and standoffish. I guess.
San Fran?
Yeah, every time I've been to shows, it's a really weird vibe that they give off.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've also heard that about San Fran. Like, people can be kind of rude.
Yeah.
But the only other time that I haven't been without you, because we went once for a show. But I went for a different show with somebody else once. And it was one of those things where it was like during the day. It wasn't even night. So it was like, there was like, and it was at that park. And there was just like so many homeless people there.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain, but like if you know San Fran, you know the park, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like this big land, and it's like it's right across from the venue. So we had to go walk through it because the parking garage is under it. So we park under the garage, come out, and it's on the park. And then you walk across the street, and it's the venue. So we did that. We had to walk through all this stuff, and it's like a ton of houseless people because they have such an issue there in San Fran. There's just not enough space, and we go, and the people in the line were just like pretty nice, like for the most. And there's people like handing. I mean, at the time I wasn't a smoker; I was very young. But they were handing out grinders and papers and edibles and all this other stuff. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I mean, like if I was into that, that'd be cool. You know, seems nice. But and then I got in the show and almost died because everyone there was also so tall. Why is everyone so fucking tall? I don't know if everybody was in platforms or just San Fran.
I don't know. You are short.
Tall people. I literally couldn't breathe, bro. They were suffocating me. I swear.
Was like, because I was in the show and I was like, a pretty even ratio of tall to short people.
We're all looking at each other in the eye, and you're like, yeah, this is the first time I've ever been eye level with people. You're not even a giant. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and then that was on the way down. Then we, went back and we're going down again. We pass our checkpoint. Then we're like going, and then we like hit this corner, and then there's like these 2 guys, and this one guy's like, I don't know, dude, I don't feel comfortable doing this right here.
Doing what?
And then the other guy's like, well, you relax. We're not the only people doing drugs in the corner.
Oh.
and then I just kept walking, and I was like, what? I was like, ratchet.
You're like, what drugs? Just kidding. Imagine. No. Scare them. They're like, ah. Fucking freak out. Okay.
And then we're just walking, and then we like walk 2 more blocks, and then there's this, it's a longer block.
God, how many blocks?
there were so many blocks that we were walking forever. Then so we hit this car, right? And then it's up ahead a little bit, and it's two men, and one's inside the car, and on the passenger side, the other dude's outside talking to him. And we're just walking, and then he's like, "Oh shit, look at her! Look, the girl with the blue hair. Oh, look at blah blah." Like creepy older man. Yeah. Like, and
well, that happened to us when we went, and the same thing with you.
And I was like, "What the heck?" And then like we're just walking, and then like the other guy's like, "Hey, you, hey, right here with the blue." And then Jenny says, "I think they're talking to you." I said, "Bitch, if you don't walk faster," girl, yes. I said, "If you don't walk faster right now,
if you don't keep your eyes straight and keep going,
I'm trying to get away. I feel so scared right now." Yeah, I was like, "Ugly guys."
Regardless, and that's what I was gonna say when you said like, "Oh, could never happen in Reno." I was like, "No, that don't happen in Reno. It's just like they're catcalling you, though. They're not being nice. They're trying to be weird." So I was afraid this is where the story was going. Go ahead.
Okay, so whatever. We make it to the end of the block where the crosswalk is. Then there's this guy, and he looks at Jenny. He's like, "Hey, baby," and then Jenny does not hear this. She's like, "No, he was not talking to me."
Jenny's I was like, so funny. I was like,
he was literally right behind you, looked at you. I saw him say, "Hey, baby," and we walked away.
Hilarious.
We walk up like another block, then go up this other block, and then we're like a block away from the venue. And then I say, "Okay, we're gonna have to. It's gonna be up there on the left." I was like, "Should we just cross now or cross up there?" And then Jenny's like, "Oh, we just cross right now." And I was like, "Okay, cool." We cross. And then I look down. There's like a broken crack pipe. There's like a condom. There's like
on the road or the sidewalk?
On the sidewalk. There's like shit. Like,
human?
No, it was tiny.
Okay,
it looks like a dog.
But
then someone said that could be crack poop.
Oh my god! Because they strained so much, or what the fuck?
Like, okay, either way, gross. And then we're walking.
Yeah, gross.
Then there's this dude with like his pants down. He's like bent over. He's
he's the one who's shitting.
Out. Well, no, he's just like hella high in the corner, like, and I was like, this is crazy. Like right next to the bus stop.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
well, that's pretty common area.
And then we just keep walking. And then I was like, as soon as we like walk up, I was like, good thing we crossed. The wall is literally filled with like 30 to 40 people just getting high, like doing hella drugs right in the corner.
Holy shit.
Like nodding out, falling over.
So that whole blocks that you guys were walking, there's like individuals doing it and then like a whole
just
row.
Like random people, like, because not everyone was getting high. Some people were just smoking weed. Some people were just hanging out with their friends, just talking like, "Oh, we had such a good day, blah, 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 blah." Then those one weird couples that were that one couple that was doing a drug deal and they were like being weird. And then you would see them like, you know, in like down alleys or whatever. But we didn't go down any of them. And then that one block where the venue was on, they're all just right there getting high. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, these people are crazy. And I was like, I'm so glad we came on this side because I would have hated to have to pass by all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we made it to the venue.
They try to pass you a pipe.
I'm like, no. I cry. I'm scared.
Yeah. You make it to the venue.
And we're going to get in line. And then Jane's like, wait a second. She's getting her ID out and stuff. And then these people get in front of us. And then we're literally in line for maybe 2 minutes. And this girl's like, this is ridiculous. Why is it taking so long? Mind you, the line is like 5 people long.
And it's been 2 minutes with 5 people, or it got shorter and it's 5 people now?
No, there was no one when they got there. And she was like, so her and her group of 4 or 5 people made the line because there was no one when me and Jenny were about to go in. And then she's like, oh, let me get my stuff. Yeah. So we pulled off to the side. And by the time she got her stuff, they got in front of us. And then they're like, what's taking so long to get in there? Like, so like entitled and snobby sounded. I'm like, the line is you and your friends. Yeah. Like, I don't know why you're being crazy.
Yeah. And
then like literally like a minute passes and she's like, this is ridiculous. Like just complaining about getting in.
She's probably high.
And I was like, she was not high. I was like,
she's coming down. She's getting irritated.
And I was like, there's no way these people are here for this show. I was like, the energy's crazy. Yeah. And then their friends come behind us and they're like, oh, hey. And I was like, oh, are they going to cut? I was waiting to see. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything because I was going to say, if my friends are in the front of the line, hey guys, what's up? I'm going to cut the line. And I was like, crazy because I've been in lines where like to get into shows, like anywhere from 30 minutes to I think the longest would be like an hour.
Yeah. I mean,
so I'm like,
how cold was it also?
Cold? No, it wasn't cold.
Not cold. Okay.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, but then so I was like, I don't know if they're gonna cut or not. One of them does, and then it's funny because then they cut and like she's like, oh, my friend doesn't have an ID, like blah, 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 and then has to like pull out to wait anyways. And I was like, okay, whatever. We get in there, and then we're just in there, you know, and I was like, okay, I have to pee because on our way there, I chugged a Celsius, and so did Jenny, and I was like, I really have to pee because we just walked all that, and you know, we're waiting in line, and they have 2 co-ed bathrooms, and we're waiting there, and then one of the one girl that was complaining out of the group, she's like, "Are you in line?"
To you?
Yeah,
for the bathroom.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "Both of you?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, bitch. And
then there's a guy in front of us that we're
Did she ask him?
up behind. She's like, "Are you in line for the bathroom?" And then he's like, "Yeah."
What do they think?
And then she's like, "Did you try to open that one?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she goes and tries to open the bathroom door like she didn't believe him.
And then it's like, locked, okay, so you guys all laughed at her? No.
No.
Okay.
I was like,
because we like... Yeah. Little snicker.
And then, you know, we go downstairs and there was 2 little rooms playing music. So downstairs in the basement was like the dubstep, and then up here they had like a house show.
Nice.
And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, I knew she was not coming to my show. I was like, she's too snobby. And but the show was good. We had a good time. And then downstairs they had 2 sets of co-ed bathrooms as well. And the first one I was gonna go into, like, towards the middle of the night, I like walk in and I was like, oh, nice. And I was like, there's a urinal, whatever. And then they have like 2 stalls with no doors. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the other ones. I hope they have doors.
Jesus.
And then the other ones do have doors. I was like, thank God. And I was like crazy. I'm just being a co-ed bathroom, like, oh, hello.
Imagine if someone just taking a shit.
Yeah, you're like, hi, sorry.
Stink all coming out. Fucking just... That's hilarious.
Hey, you look really cute. Thanks. But
I love your face when you push.
Thank you. Imagine someone just holding up their jacket. Oh, my friend's in here. But yeah, and the night was good. We had a lot of fun. And then like towards the end of the night, like the show was supposed to be over at 2, and then they said, oh, could play 15 more minutes. So he like slows it down. He's playing some really cool little slow kind of vibey jams. And then you see this guy get there, and he's
at the end?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this older man, probably like he was a few inches taller than me. And he was like balding all around his balding, and then it was super gray around his crown area where he did have hair.
Okay.
And he's in a button up and khakis, and he kind of looks like very strict. And I was like, oh, I wonder if this is the owner. And he's like, wants us to wrap it up. What's going on? And he's just kind of standing there. Then he kind of walks across the stage, and it's like a small little room down there. And he walks back, and then I see him, and he's just like staring at the girls dancing, like creepily, like staring, like. Looking.
They had like go-go dancers for the show?
No.
Oh, they're just girls dancing. Oh.
And I was like, what the heck? And then he like comes up behind Jenny, and he's like looking at her for a little bit. And then he like, I don't know if he was trying to get in front of her to be like, hello, look at me. And like Jenny like stops and then like looks at him and then like steps back because she thought he was trying to get
away. Yeah.
And he just stood there for a second and looked at her, and then like walks and looks at me, and I step back, and then he just keeps walking. And there's this girl that's dancing behind, like towards the side of me, and he goes behind her.
No.
And I'm watching him, and he thrusts at her hip,
grabs her, or just with his crotch?
Yeah, like gets up behind her and goes, and she's shorter than him by a little bit.
She flies or what?
She just like looks at him and goes like, what the fuck? And then like steps away from him.
That's crazy. Nobody's doing anything. No dude tried to like, hey dude, what are you doing? Nothing?
No, there was no dudes. It was all just girls in the front dancing right there.
Damn.
And then like he goes up, and then she moves away, and then she's like, oh, excuse me, can I go this way? She passes me and Jenny, And then he fucking migrates back to that side to get behind her. And he keeps trying to get her. And he's like pushing up on her.
Are you fucking kidding?
She moves up away from him again. And then he follows her to the front again. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with this guy?
Did you guys end up getting an Uber back to the place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys walked at 2 a.m. across all that again.
We would have, but I was like, I don't want to trek uphill after dancing on
that. Yeah, exhausting. Yeah. But also,
and Jenny was in her cute little boots with the heel, and I was like,
yeah.
And but yeah, so he was still being creepy, and I was like, what the heck? And then she was dancing, and I was like, oh, does she want to dance with him? So I was watching, but I was like, oh, she doesn't realize he's behind her
again. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she was just like, whatever. And then I like, when she did notice, she like kind of looked at him, and then I just like grabbed her, and I was like, oh, hey,
friend. Yeah.
And then she was like, oh. I was like, sorry, that guy's creepy. She said, oh my God, I thought you saw that. And I was like, yeah. And then he comes back. And yeah, then the show was over.
And then he stabbed him.
And I said, whose uncle is this? What is going on? And then he was with 2 younger guys. So I don't know.
And I bet they're just as creepy.
Yeah, I was like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's fucked
it's
up.
Their dad or their uncle.
Well, I remember when we went to San Fran and we were walking, and that one dude was like staring at you. Because we walked out on that street, I think, a couple times because we were trying to find this one thing. Okay, we were trying to find one spot and we were like Google mapping it, but it wasn't actually there. It turns out like it had been closed or something. Yes, yeah. So we were like wandering around aimlessly, and there was this dude staring at Jess. And I remember clocking it the first time, being like, "What the fuck?" And I turned around because we had walked past him. I turned around really fast to see if he was still looking, and he was. And when I did, he like looked away or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, "You fucking weirdo!" And I have a knife on me in my purse at all times, as long as shows allow it, because like most times they don't check for that kind of stuff. So I like, knowing we were gonna walk back down that road, I was like, I'll just have it popped open just in case. So it was in my purse, my hand was in my purse, and we were walking up on him, and I just like intensely stared into his eyes because I knew he was gonna try and look at you, and I was like, and I don't know, you know, because it's one of those things like, girl, I know you're not going to like him. He's not like a cute young guy. He's like your age. He was like a grown, weirdo, old man. Yeah. And so it was like, I'm definitely going to say something if you try to fucking do anything, dude. Like, I will fucking attack you right now on the streets of San Francisco. Because there's no way we're traveling all that way just for some man to be super uncomfortable and weird.
Yes,
and that makes me so scared. I'm glad you grabbed her. But that shit is like one of those... I wish more people would have done something, you know. Clearly you weren't the only one to see it. You can't be the only one.
And like that whole front section got uncomfortable. Like everyone stopped dancing. Like his energy was so
obvious.
Off-putting.
Yeah. That's horrible. But I'm glad you had a fun show anyway. I'm glad that it was a fun trip and the Airbnb looked good. Like the view was pretty. I was like, that's gorgeous. So yeah, that's awesome. And thanks, Jenny. Thank you.
Yes, she's the best. But because of time, I have to get going.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. So
well.
see ya.
Bye.
Bye.